7 signs that you have unhealed trauma. So let's talk about what trauma is exactly. Trauma is not something that has happened to you, like a car accident or a divorce or family member dies or some sort of abuse or neglect. Trauma is the feeling that you had when that traumatic experience happened. Trauma is how your nervous system reacts and your brain reacts to what is happening in the traumatic experience. So that's what trauma is. It's not the thing happening to you, it's how you felt about it. That's the trauma, and that's what you carry your entire life. You know, as you go into adulthood, you will carry that feeling, those same feelings with you if you have not healed trauma. So today we're going to talk about 7 signs that you may have some unhealed trauma that needs to be taken care of. The first sign is if you're feeling confused, difficulty concentrating a lot, like daily, like you can't get things done, you're somewhere else, you can't concentrate and be present on what you're doing. And there are times when we feel that way, but if this is a regular occurrence all day long, then that's a sign that you may have some unhealed trauma that you need to heal in order to move on in your life. Number 2, anger. If you have over the edge anger at things, little things, and it's continuous and it's affecting your life. I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody cuts in front of you at the grocery store and you literally go off the edge, angry, yelling and screaming, and if that's happening, then it's a sign that you may have unhealed trauma from something that has happened in your life, some anger that needs to be let go of and healed. So that's number 2. Number 3, anxiety. When we've had a traumatic experience or when we feel trauma, a lot of times we feel unsafe, and the experience has made us feel unsafe, or we feel unsafe due to that experience, and we carry that with us as well. So if you're feeling anxious or unsafe or wondering if the trauma is going to happen again, or you just have this feeling of never being content and safe, then that's sign number 3 that you may have some unhealed trauma from the past of not feeling safe, and you've carried that with you. Number 4, guilt. Guilt or shame. If you're feeling guilt or shame and you haven't done anything wrong, a lot of times we feel guilty or shameful if we're in a situation where a traumatic event, or we feel we're experiencing trauma and we weren't able to get away or run or fight back. And then we carry that guilt and shame with us the rest of our lives. And it eats the inside of us. It's not something that you consciously think of, but every once in a while, if you're feeling guilty or shameful for no reason, if you're feeling like that a lot, then there's some guilt and shame that you've tucked inside of your brain and your body that needs to be taken a look at and healed from past trauma. Number 5 is withdrawing from other people. So if you find yourself being a loner all the time, you get invited to do things you don't ever want to go, and every once in a while we like to have some alone time, right? I know I do. But this is on a constant basis. If you feel like you don't want to be with people, you're untrusting, you don't feel like you belong, that's a sign that you have unhealed trauma. So, number 6 is feeling disconnected. So that's part of number 5. You feel disconnected from other people or events or things. You have family you don't feel connected to, friends, you really don't feel connected to anybody, including yourself. So part of what trauma does is it disassociates ourselves with ourselves. When we're born, we have a good sense of our own authenticity, our own selves, but as we go along, and if we've experienced trauma, we start feeling like we don't know ourselves. We don't know who that person was that acted that way or let that other person do that to them. And so we lose who we are. And when we carry that on into our adult lives, we start disconnecting from people, and we don't feel connected to ourselves at that point either. So part of recovery from trauma is about reconnecting to yourself, body, mind, and spirit. If you look up the word recovery, it's to refind, right? To refind ourselves. So recovery just means to refind yourself, know who you are, and it's possible. That's the great thing about trauma. It's possible to refind yourself and to recover from any of the traumas that you may have experienced. And the last but not least is if you're feeling just hopeless and sad all the time. Trauma can slip us into depression. And like I said, we can feel sad every once in a while. We're humans. Sadness is a human element. It's a human feeling, emotion that we feel. That's normal and natural. But if you're feeling hopeless and sad all the time on a regular basis, no matter what's going on in your life, and you don't know how to be happy, and it's affecting your life, then that is a sign. That's sign number 7 that you may have some trauma that needs to be healed in your life. Now, the good part about healing trauma is that it's possible. It never goes away completely. I'm just being honest with you. But we can learn tools through counseling or coaching to be able to handle the triggers that come up, to be able to, when we're feeling the way that I described in these 7 signs, that we can get ourselves out of it instead of languishing in it for lengthy times and having it affect our lives. We at GILD Coaching have a program. It's called Recovery Focus Reset, and it's for healing of trauma and addiction. It's a fantastic elite program. It's a 16-week program that we've had great success with clients that have gone through it. And I urge you to go to www.gildcoaching.com and take a look at it. Give us an email if you have questions. It may be the thing that you need to start healing from the trauma that is affecting your life right now. So take that step, make that investment in yourself so that you can move forward and start living a life of passion and purpose like you deserve, like we all deserve. I hope you liked this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button, please. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. You don't want to miss the rest of our videos. We have some great videos coming up and some very interesting topics that I think will be helpful. If you know of anybody that could use this video that would be helpful to them, pass this along to any of your friends or family. They'll be so happy that you did. And in the meantime, take care of yourself and know that all of trauma can be healed, but you have to take that first step.